Welcome to the Spilled Ink and Coffee Show, where we take book discussions to a new level. We don't just read books, we interview them, journal about them, sip coffee, spill thoughts, and explore stories on and off the page. Grab a cup and get cozy, because every book deserves a great conversation.
Summer's heating up, the motorcycles are out, and we're questioning everything, from domestic bliss to doilies. Are we becoming a little trad curious? Maybe. You'll have to listen to find out if it's a cozy classic or a passive-aggressive casserole.
There we go. Good morning, friends.
Hi.
I know. It's been a hot minute. Not for them. They don't know.
Yeah, no.
They don't know, but we know.
We know.
We know the things. So the show closed.
The show is closed. Love that show. I love the part. I love the cast.
It was awesome. That's why I was like, did you want to audition for Charlie Brown?
No, because I can't sing.
You'd be fine. You'd be such a cute Sally. I took my motorcycle out last week for the first time in like 2 years.
Oh, wow. How was that?
At first I was scared for sure. Andrew's like, did you have it serviced? I said, yeah, in November. It's like, cost me $1,000. He goes, you know, the bike's not even worth that. I said, everything is to me. I said, just check the tire pressure. And then we went out riding together. And then I was like, all right, I can do this. I said, I don't like it when emotions have control over me.
Yeah.
These are the questions I would like to ask at the panel when we're at the Star Trek convention.
Oh.
So I've spent like the last couple of weeks, because David Sedaris inspires us to ask better questions. These are the questions, whether or not you think they're appropriate. I think that the regular mundane ones they receive, I don't want normal responses, as you can tell. They're actors, for crying out loud. I feel like they should give me more.
I love these.
Okay, so you don't think then that they're going to escort me out the building?
No.
Cool. Because that's always my concern.
Absolutely not.
So I showed him to Andrew. He goes, check with Rachel. But after I re-looked at the people who were going to be on this panel, I felt like these are actually kind of like the cool kids.
Well, there'll be a whole bunch of different panels. They haven't always...
See, I've never done this. This is new.
So they break it up into different, like there'll be small rooms where there'll be different panels on different things, like maybe on the writing, on the makeup, on just on being a side character. And then in the main room, they'll probably have 3 different panels every day. Like they might have a Deep Space Nine panel, a Voyager panel,
Got it.
a new era Star Trek panel. And then in between, that's when the actors are at the signing booths.
Alrighty.
So it's like Comic-Con. And we'll get a whole schedule, and it'll tell us.
It sounds more like the cruise ship itinerary.
It'll tell us. Well, I've only been to I've one, and that was the one in New York, and that's what it was. There were all these side, like you could go to all in the convention hall, you could go to all the, or in this case the hotel, you go to the different breakout rooms, and they'll be running at the same time, and you just pick the ones you want to go to.
That'll be interesting.
I love the costume contest.
Ooh.
The costume contest is so, because they're dressed, these people go all out.
I don't know if I could be prepared for that, but now that I know that there is one, I already have the shoes, and I'm rewatching the OG series right now. I'm dying.
Okay.
It's like the first 4 episodes, Spock is a prick. He is a dickhole, man. It's like somewhere, and then it's like a hard left, and then and then the red shirts don't exist until after the 3rd episode. They were Peach.
Yeah.
The Diablo salad. I don't know. I'm saying it wrong.
Dabalaya.
The devil salad with no high nuts.
With a lot of time.
Yes. And no toast. Instead, I don't care like what you got to do, but can I have a raisin roll heated up on the side of that salad, please?
Raisin roll.
Thank you. I made my own at home. I don't think I did it right. That's all I can say. Friends, if you didn't catch it, it's the Spilled Ink and Coffee Mystery Café. Coming soon. Stuff is happening, guys, and we'll do this until Rachel says we're not doing this anymore.
Rachel loves this. Rachel is doing this.
This is definitely together fun. All right, I got to get into your journal, my friend.
Oh, okay. So, I need to...
I mean, just even a couple
Okay.
entries if I have to.
Well, there's 4. I don't think I've done anything in May yet. I did pick my book of the month for April.
Oh.
Sunrise on the Reaping.
Yes, okay.
So here's May.
Here
so far.
is May. Okay, friends, I am looking at Rachel's May spread. And in the TBR list, the Last Bookstore on Earth. Interesting because I saw that somewhere and I just put that in my audio. You know what else I put in my audio, but it doesn't come out till June 17th, is the Where Lion one.
Oh,
Because I just listened to
Wearing
that.
the Lion?
Yes, I just listened to that podcast and I was like, that's right, I would need to get this book. And then I was like, is it available? And it's like, no. And I was like, damn it. I really wanted to listen
I thought
to
it
it.
came out sooner than that.
No, much later. You got way advanced copy. At least on audio, it doesn't come out till June 17th. The Trad Wife's Secrets, 640 to Montreal, Morbidly Yours, and The Beach House. Now, are any of those arcs that are up and coming?
The Tradwife's Secret is an arc, and the 640 to Montreal is an arc.
Okay. And then she does the calendar so she can tell you in her calendar what she's currently reading, which looks like Death at the Highland Loch.
I already read that.
Okay, we'll get to the review. The Trad Wife's Secret is in progress. Famous Last Words, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Interesting, Andrew wanted me to watch that last night.
I'm listening to that.
And Wendy's Ever After.
I just started that.
Multiple Wendy's, one Wendy.
It's Wendy's Ever After. That's also an arc.
So we'll see how it is.
So
This one's in progress?
no. So let me explain. I've read a lot of arcs so far this month, and they're audio book arcs. So I don't have the quotes yet. So you'll just see the review and not any quotes yet. I have to wait for the quotes to come out.
Well, then I don't want to read this one. And you're going to have to put a sticky tabby
Well,
thing.
then you're going to have to skip most of these.
All right, never mind. We're not going to skip most of them. Guys, if you...
Because this is...
I see.
Yeah.
Nope. All right, we're going. I see the art stamp. So we're starting with, the title is Big Dumb Eyes. And I have to say the cover right away. His eyes are huge. By Nate Bargatze. Francisco. So audio arc from Grand Central Publishing. It's a memoir comedy. What is this dude all about?
He's a comedian.
know him.
He's a stand-up comedian.
Okay.
He's hosted Saturday Night Live twice. He's a clean comic. So there's no swear words, nothing dirty in his act.
Parents, this one you can get tickets and bring your kids.
Absolutely. But he is absolutely hysterical. He has a Netflix special. Highly recommend it. It's his delivery. He's just very dry, and he reads this book. It's his first book. It is fantastic. I listen to it. You have to listen to it because it's his delivery that makes it. And it just came out, I think last week. I laughed and laughed and laughed some more.
So I just took a picture of it so I can add it because as you're talking, I see the rating was 5 stars.
It was a 5-star. I like him anyway, and having just listened, he's telling stories, and it's not necessarily in order per se. Like he's not like he's he'll tell a story of when he worked as a water meter reader.
Okay, how to process that, but I know what a water meter reader is.
Yeah, it's a job that you don't have to explain what it is because the title is what you do.
So this was an arc.
It was an arc, yeah.
But now it is available for people.
It is available now, yeah.
I wish everybody could see the big smile on your face.
It's just, I love him.
It's good, clean fun.
I think he's funny, and listening to it made me laugh. I actually thought of you because I thought you would really like it. It's just goofy and funny. I mean, his dad was a clown.
Did he go to clown college?
He was a professional clown
Wow.
and a magician. So it's just,
So that says a lot about him as a person and his upbringing right from the get-go.
it's just funny. I would recommend, if you need something, definitely listen to it. You have to listen to it because his delivery is what makes it.
It's interesting to me, though, that this is also available in print.
Yes.
So comedian-wise, what I have read from a comedian is actually Ellen DeGeneres. And I don't think there's very many comedians, like you're saying, who have to listen to it for the delivery. I think because Ellen is such a household name, it was easy to read her books because I was laughing because you hear her voice.
You hear her voice.
So, I mean, I love me a good radio show anyway. And thank you for the compliment for telling me that I'm a goofball. I do actually appreciate it. But what, other than it being an art, made you want to pick this up?
Him. I like his comedy. I think he's funny. I've enjoyed the 2 times he's hosted SNL. So when I saw it was an available art and I got access to it, I was super excited. So
now explain. So we all know that comics write their own material. And unless you know them, we just said you're not going to hear it if you read it in print. So I will audio this. But what about his style do you enjoy, or what is different about him as a comedian and his writing and delivery is so unusual, makes him special?
It's a very self-deprecating, like, I'm just a regular goofball who got a head injury in the 7th grade and I'm dumb now and everything I do is just silly, but it seems totally normal to me, so I don't know what's wrong with everybody else. He's just
a joy. Yeah. So much so that you said that you're going to listen to this one again.
Yeah.
It's like a pick-me-up when you need it.
Yeah, he just makes me laugh.
Now, because this is all real-life stories, there's characters and players. Was there anybody other than his magician clown dad and himself that stood out to you?
Hey, there's his wife. Who runs his life because he can't. There's PP. You gotta listen to it to understand it. There's PP.
You know, in my mind, I made that a Muppet.
Okay.
Just so you know where I'm at. So PP the Muppet.
PP or P, depending on how well you know him. His dad is prominent. His brother and his sister are both in there and definitely characters in the book.
So you don't necessarily have a favorite because this is a family affair because it's life. Yeah. It's real life. Was there anything that you disliked about this? It's going to be hard because you gave it 5 stars.
So probably what I would say, the book, the physical book, has pictures in the chapters. Like if he references a time where his dad took him to one of his magic shows and he froze, he says there's a picture of that in the book. So he's got pictures in the book. For the audio, it's like attached as a PDF.
Oh, at least they did that.
They did attach it as a PDF. So, but it's like one of those where, okay, I got to stop it. I got to go open my phone. Oh, wait, I'm driving. I can't do that. So that was probably my only, if I had to complain about something, that would be my complaint.
That's very interesting that you bring this up because in the Earth Chronicles, when I'm listening to that, it's the same thing. We have the attached PDFs and they tell you to go reference this picture. That's not an author issue. That's the platform's issue, my friends. Just so you all know when you're listening, they haven't developed it yet. So that way you can click right then and there in that chapter to bring up the photo. But that's whatever the platform is that's delivering it, which is, they got to make that better.
Yeah,
I agree.
And I wasn't listening to this on Audible. I listened to this on NetGalley
right.
because it was an art. So, and he does, in the audio version of the book, he says, pause and take a look. This picture's in the PDF. So he tells you in the audiobook, like, hey, this is where you should stop and go look.
So in the ARC, you do also get the PDF.
Yes, I got the PDF.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, did you go back and look?
Yeah,
Or
I did. Yeah.
when he said pause? Because
No, because
you went
sometimes
back at the end and just looked at all the photos.
Right, or after I read and I was driving, if I got back to the house, then I would go and look. But I listened to a lot of this driving back and forth to rehearsal. So a lot of it I was driving, so I couldn't stop and look at it. I waited until I got wherever I was to go look.
Okay.
Again, if I have to come up with a complaint,
Right.
that's nothing against him.
Right, or the book or the publishing.
Right.
It's hello, Audible or these other platforms come up with a better, easier way for us to see that other than downloading the PDF file. You know, someday all of this will be VR and I'll just touch the air and we'll see it, whatever that is doing, augmented reality. Not VR. Sorry, Andrew. I corrected myself. My gosh. What was the most memorable or powerful moment that you heard come out of this comedian? Now, it could be funny, it could be sad, it could be whatever.
I think like overarching, and you know, it's hard to find a powerful moment in a funny book, but I would say it was he really accepts where he came from and the flaws in his life.
So where did he come from? Not just a clown magician.
No. So he grew up in Tennessee, backwoods Tennessee, pretty poor. Like that's a big part. Like how they didn't have much, and very, very religious family. So
A very religious family with clown magic?
yeah.
Wow. Rock on. They're very progressive. I'm interested. It'll be very interesting to hear where that goes because there's a lot of thoughts about that.
Yeah, and when he moves to Chicago to take classes at Second City and the story of the rats in his apartment. So, yeah, I mean, it's just so funny. It's just so funny.
If you want to smile, friends, this is it.
Yeah.
For sure. Did the book make you think differently about anything? Now, when we ask this question, friends, this book could either change a book can change your perspective on something in your for real life. It could be about writing. It could be about books in general. Like, did anything change for you after you had this experience?
I think what I would come away with is you don't have to be crass, crude, or swearing to be funny. Like and I listen and read plenty of crass and crude and swearing, and that's not it. It's just, he's just telling funny stories.
It's the honesty that you appreciate.
Yeah, it's like, this is just, yeah.
Now, I know how this compares to others by the same author. I mean, it's not even such a book, but I am looking here at your review, and you're saying that when you've heard him in the past, you've only had little snippets of his life, but this is an extended version.
Yeah, like I've heard, people know that his dad was a clown. People know that he was a meter reader. I've heard the story about after 9/11, he had to go guard the county's water facility. But it was just, this was in longer form because he was doing those stories in his stand-up set. So, you don't spend 15 minutes talking about guarding the county's water facility. But in a book, you can give all the other details that you leave out of your stand-up set. So that's what some of the stories were, like, quote-unquote familiar, because he has told parts of them, but to get the whole story, yeah.
So as you're saying, we're getting the longer versions of his stand-up in the novel. One of the things that I normally see you put here with an audio is how many pages the audio was, you didn't. So I'm curious.
Oh yeah, I did. I just mixed them up.
Okay, so all right, 240 pages. I'm like, the publisher. You even said, I didn't say 200, but I got it. When I first read it, I read it correctly, but now my brain has switched it, and so 240 pages of lots and lots of laughter.
Yeah.
So let's just do one weird ass question. Okay, if you got lost in the woods, which person in this book would immediately suggest cannibalism, even though it's only been 20 minutes? You're lost in the woods, it's only been 20 minutes. Somebody says, we're going to need to eat each other. Who's that going to be in this book?
And Nate Bargatze, the author. And then his wife and his daughter are going to reel him in and say, no, Nate, it's been 20 minutes. There's a McDonald's down the road.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
There's a McDonald's down the road. Would you recommend this book?
100%. If you want to just laugh, please read it. Listen to it. And then go watch the SNL clips of him as George Washington.
As George Washington? Oh, friends, we now have a homework assignment. Report back. All right, so that was Big Dumb Eyes. It just made it on my list for my next audio. So that's a lot of joy for your life, friends. All right, we're going to move on to this next book. Beautiful page spread. Don't worry. You guys will see all of this. The title, The Last Bookstore on Earth by Lily Braun-Arnold. Physical format, a YA dystopian. 306 pages from Penguin de la Carte, I guess it is. 3-star rating. I mean, it is a YA. So she sighs, everybody. She sighs. We know why you picked it up, because it was on the sale rack. Got it.
I always sigh. I feel like I always sigh over a 3-star rating because I feel like it could have been so much more.
Oh yeah, it's on the precipice of that.
And that frustrates me.
Well, when you started reading it, what were your thoughts?
I enjoyed it when I started it. I thought it was an interesting premise. For the world to be destroyed, brings back a little hurricane PTSD, but, only acid rain. But it reminded me of, preparing for a hurricane.
Time out. So you have PTSD from an acid rain?
No.
I need to follow what's happening.
No. We have PTSD from getting ready for hurricanes.
Yes, we do.
And just waiting for the hurricane to come.
Okay, we live in Florida, if you people didn't know. Thank you, our Alaska fans.
And it's the 4 days of you're just waiting.
Yeah.
And that's what they're waiting for the storm, and the storm is acid rain.
That's terrible.
Yeah. But it's still you're just waiting.
How do you shelter yourself?
Not very well.
Obviously.
That's part of the story. Yeah.
Okay, then. So what hooked you, or did it take time to hook you?
No, it hooks me pretty fast because, this girl is taken, the 17-year-old is taken, refuge. She's hiding out in a bookstore.
Okay, so I'm reading the review and I'm connecting the threads here. She says that it has a lot of potential, and you're right. Destroying everything with acid rain is a unique point of view.
Yeah, it's not
for an
war,
apocalyptic moment.
It's not zombies.
But her shelter is in a bookstore. Did it have a metal roof? Did it have an acid rain-proof roof?
Okay, so it was 2 stories.
I'm checking for me and all the other preppers out there.
Yeah, it was 2 stories, and part of the roof was absolutely destroyed in the 2nd floor.
So the rain eventually stops, and we continue the story.
So the story starts a year after the original storm, and another storm is. So,
because we polluted our planet to the point of where now we have acid rainstorms? Do we ever get to the key
We never
point?
get to find out. It never reveals why there was acid rain. It's not clear if this takes place 40 years in the future or now, 2 years from now. That is unclear.
I know I'm not going in our interview order of things, but my thoughts are all over the place.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's just been, the book takes place a year after the first storm, and another storm is coming.
And we don't know the origins of the storm.
We don't know the origins of the storm.
Which is probably why we don't have at least 4 stars, because I think an origin story is important. What does FMC stand for in your...
Female main character.
Oh, thank you. That the female main character was so attached to the bookstore, and that it was part of her past trauma. The bookstore is part of her past trauma?
It was connected to her trauma. Part of it was she didn't want to leave for college, and she works at this bookstore before the storm, and it's just that was her safe place, was going to work at this bookstore.
So what I'm finding interesting as I continue to read your review, that the last 50 pages felt rushed and it ruined the book for you. This to me is an editing issue because it's a YA. And so they edited things because it's a YA. Had this not been a YA, I bet those edits wouldn't have happened.
I don't know.
It's my opinion.
It's this author's first book.
It's not an arc. I wish this one was for you.
It's not an arc.
Penguin, what did you do? I'm feeling Rachel's frustrations here, but I have to go to the editors on that one. I can't. So what did you like about the writing style? I mean, I'm looking at the quotes. They're actually really good quotes.
It was an easy read. It was definitely a YA book. It wasn't remarkable.
So what is she doing in the bookstore during the acid rain event? Reading,
keeping things in order, and she's also acting as kind of a post office. People will stop in their travels trying to find whatever they're trying to find. They'll stop and leave a letter. This is a letter for my brother if he comes by. So, and they would trade things with her. Like, here, I have 4 batteries. Can you deliver this, or can you keep this letter?
Is it raining while we're traveling?
The acid rain?
Yeah.
Not at the beginning of the book, no.
So this is them all traveling to get away from the rain?
They're trying to find
their shelters
and shelter, and because rumor has it North Carolina's up and running. This takes place in New Jersey.
Oh, everything like this happens in New Jersey. I just have a lot of questions, and it's about when we're in acid rain, when we're not in acid rain. Are we wearing protective clothing? Is there a special umbrella?
There's no
how do you?
The second storm doesn't take place until the last.
So this is
40
all the
pages
the
of the
prep.
book. This is all the in between the two storms.
In between the two storms.
And there's flashbacks to before the first storm.
Oh wow. Do you have a favorite character other than that we just have a strong female lead?
I didn't really particularly care for her either.
Okay.
I didn't really like any of the characters, honestly.
Well, we know what you found frustrating, that we're missing a lot of this book.
Yeah.
And you see the potential in it.
Yeah.
And that's why you feel this way. What is the main idea of this book then? Where's our point of view? Because obviously for me, I'm like, acid rain, I need to know all the things.
And you will know nothing.
Great. So what am I supposed to know?
I don't know.
So it's that discombobulated that we can't.
The ending just came too fast, and nothing was resolved, even in the epilogue. Like,
wow.
It was, wait, what? How are we here? What happened? I don't understand. Now that I'm sitting here talking about it, I should have given it 2 stars.
Right. I can see your big disappointment. Did this book change anything about, and make you think differently about anything in life? Or
I mean, it made me think about all the mistakes she was making. Like, I'm just sitting there thinking, like, you're in this dystopian world where people are like just trying to survive. Why aren't you boarding up your windows?
That's where my questions are.
Yeah, like I was frustrated with her just willing to sit there and let it happen to her. Like, I don't know, that might be the Floridian in me. Like, again, because
we've been through
keep
this,
relating
right?
it to the hurricanes. Like, you know it's coming, you're trying to prepare, but you're not sure how long are you going to be without power, because they don't have power.
Right.
How long are you going to be without power? What do you have to have? Got to make sure you've got the right food to eat. What happens if you run out of food? Is the grocery store going to be open? How far do I have to walk? There won't be gas. Like, I think the Floridian in me had like, do something, girl. You can't just sit there behind the desk reading a book. Do something.
So if you're a northerner and you have ice and snowstorms, you'll feel the same way.
Yeah.
If you're a person that lives in Tornado Alley, forget it. This book's not going to help you either.
No.
Do you have a favorite quote? So these quotes are actually pretty good, but is there a favorite? No. She doesn't have a favorite of anything.
I want to take back a star.
All right, you can do that. You can totally take back a star. Let's just say that which character from this book, doesn't sound like there's many, would be the least helpful in an escape room?
The main character.
The main character?
Because she just literally lets everybody, this story happens to her.
All right.
Everything in this book happens to her.
Would you recommend this book?
Not really.
So I'm going to gather that you may not read anything from her again.
No.
All right.
I have no desire to. There's too many other good books to read.
Got it. So, friends, we haven't had a review like that in a long time, actually. You have been reading in your arcs and stuff some really stellar stuff.
Yeah.
And then to pick this up off the discount table. Now, listen, not all discount books, friends, are like that. Okay, take a chance because you don't know. So take a chance. All right, we're going to turn the page on that one. And we're just going to go. And I love how you get these books because these ones just, I'm all going to say Christian romance from now on when I see covers like that.
But this one's not it. This one's not a Christian
No,
romance.
and it's got some good stars on it.
Yeah.
Death at the Highland. I am not going to try and, at the
Loch.
Highland Loch. I'm not going to try and say the author's name. Is that Lydia?
Lydia Travers.
Travers. I have decided that neon green pen ink is not a color I can see, Rachel.
Oh, no.
I don't think that's you or the pages.
I just
it's
pulled
me.
out.
I love it.
For the next book I'm reading, it's a neon green pen
No,
too.
it's totally fine. That's the only thing, like, friends, I know how to read, but this is like, actually this looks like key lime pie.
Oh,
So
it
maybe I'm
does.
thinking about pie and
Pie,
not words.
yeah.
That's what I've decided. This is an audio, a mystery. I would not have gotten that from looking at the pretty pictures because I look at pictures before I look at words. Publisher is Hatchet UK.
Yeah.
This is the first time I'm seeing it actually say UK
Yes,
as the publishing.
Mhm.
This is an ARC Friends with a 4-star rating. Why did you pick this book? I know it's an ARC, but what?
Because it took place in Scotland.
I knew that was the answer. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I just watched House Hunters International, and this dude who's like, I roam everywhere in life, but I'm going to settle down in Scotland. I was like, maybe me too with Rachel.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. What were your first thoughts when you were listening to it? We're into a mystery in Scotland,
It's
friends.
just fun. It's just fun. It's a branch off of, there's a series of books. It's like, sorry if I get this wrong. It's like the Scottish Women's Detective Society. So there's like 4 or 5 books.
Which AKA you state reading a Scottish Nancy Drew.
Yes.
I'm in it. Go.
Yeah. So it was a series. So this is one of the spin-off characters, Poppy Proudfoot.
Her name is Poppy.
Well, that's her nickname. It's Penelope, but everybody calls her Poppy. So it's Poppy Proudfoot, and she wants to become a detective like these Scottish women detectives. So this is the first book in her series. But literally, if I had to describe it or compare it to anything, I felt like I was reading an adult Scottish Nancy Drew book.
It's amazing. UK glamour and mystery with a touch of aristocracy.
Because she's a lady.
Aristocracy.
She's running around with the aristocracy of Scotland. She's one of them. So she's.
I could go with aristocrats, but aristocracy in key lime pie writing is not going to work.
She's super wealthy. This all takes place at a fancy house party. There's a murder. There's another like tiny little mystery that she's got to solve too with the bracelet, and it's just, and of course there's a handsome detective.
She's got big smiles, friends.
It was fun.
So it hooked you right away.
Yeah, it did. It was because the character is so likable. Poppy is just, she's curious, but she's kind, and she's Scottish, rich. Well, Nancy Drew is rich. Her dad was a doctor, or no, a lawyer. And so it's just, yeah.
So who narrated, female or male?
Female.
Okay. And what did you like about the writing style?
It was easy. It was an easy listen. I didn't have to concentrate really hard to follow the mystery. It was, if I have to really, especially if I'm listening to a book, it can't be some sort of in-depth with clues
Because you can't follow
because I can't follow it when I'm stopping and starting listening to it. Because if it's a book, a physical book, I can flip back and look. I can't do that. Well, I could rewind, but I don't want to rewind because I'm going to lose my spot. So I like it where I can just remember all the details. It's nothing so in-depth or so hard that I have to like
Review your murder board.
Right. I don't want to have to create a murder board for a book. I don't. I want to just enjoy it. And this one was, I could keep track of all the characters.
Which is great. Who's your favorite character?
Poppy.
Who's your least favorite character?
The 3 American film people.
Way to go, America.
Yeah. It was obnoxious.
Sounds about correct.
Yeah. Like
Okay.
they're there to do research. I mean, it takes place in 1920, so it'd be a silent film, but they're there to do research for a film.
But you did say that we're sprinkling in some actual historical women's suffrage events.
Yeah, so it talks about like the main character, Poppy, actually went to university and has a law degree, but when she graduates, like, so it was, I guess, during World War I when she graduated from law school. In Scotland, women weren't allowed to practice law. So she talks about how it's just recently in the last year past that women can practice law. And she's talking with the detective that maybe that's something I want to do because I really want to help people.
So this could be Nancy Drew's long-lost cousin from yesteryear.
Yeah, it could be her grandmother.
Do you have a favorite chapter, scene, or memorable one?
I think when Poppy is in Edinburgh, which is cool because it talks about the Scott, the Walter Scott monument in Edinburgh, things that I've seen and I know. But anyway, it talks about when she sees someone getting attacked, she hops on a stolen bike and tries to chase after the attacker because he took the dog. It was just fun. It's like, whoa.
Does the dog live?
The dog lives.
Thank God.
Yes, the dog. It's all about rescuing dogs. This book is all about.
That was my next question. What's the main idea of focus?
Major is her personal dog. That's the name of her dog. There's dogs all in this book that are well looked after and well taken care of.
Oh my gosh. Yes. No dogs were harmed.
And dogs were rescued. So
I love this. Anything that makes you think about something differently?
That, my goodness, I'm so glad that I live in the time that I live where women can do what they want. They're not dependent on, well, I was married. So I'm not weird because I was married even though my husband died. That if I wanted to be a lawyer, I could go be a lawyer. It talks about how the first Scottish women were just allowed into the Scottish police force like a year before. So I'm like, ugh. Like, thank God I don't have to deal with that. Like, we have our own issues obviously still, but anyway.
Yeah. It made you just not think differently, but give you more gratitude for what it is
that I didn't have to deal with that.
And thank you all the women in the past that gave us women something in the future. Why can't we just all be equal? Kind humans, people. Can you all just be kind humans together?
Which is really ironic considering the next book.
We're not quite there yet. Are you going to read more from this author?
Yeah, I would read another Poppy Proudfoot.
It sounds like it.
100%.
And you'll recommend this book because
it's just, if you just want a fun mystery that is set in Scotland, read it. It's just fun.
So if we're going to adapt this sounds like this could be a really great television series.
Oh yeah.
Who would you pick to play Poppy? I have a follow-up to this. This is serious business, friends.
This is hard.
I didn't ask any really weird-ass questions, but this
I think because, it's probably because of what I'm also reading right now, I would say Emma Watson.
Aww.
Hermione from Harry Potter.
Yes.
I think she's the right age. She's, coming up on, that 30 mark. She would be good.
Okay, my follow-up question is, what breed of dog would you cast as Major?
Oh, a big golden, not a big chocolate lab.
Yeah. All right, folks. So you heard it. Let's look for that as a future Netflix. Are you listening?
Yeah.
Series. Because it sounds like this could be one.
It would be fun.
I would watch it. All right, we're going to go to the final one called The Trad Wife's Secret by, is it Liane Child. It's an audio, and it is an arc. It's a thriller, and she's holding pie, and there's bloodstains under the cherry pie. Publisher is HQ Digital. Yep, never heard of them before. Yet it receives 4 stars from you. What made you go to this?
It was a thriller. The premise looked interesting. The whole idea of, uncovering what's the ugly underbelly of the trad wife
So
society.
define that for us real quick.
It's a traditional wife.
Okay.
It's a whole movement right now, or for the last 5 years or so, with being a traditional wife. You are just a wife and mother. You do not work outside the home. You make all your own stuff homemade. You make your children's clothes. You're a traditional church-going, husband-loving, submissive.
Not any Stepford wives situation, or is this like parallel to that culture? Do you remember the Stepford wives?
Yeah. No, I mean, you can go on Instagram and search it, and
Wow.
TikTok and search it, and it's
A trad wife, huh?
it's a tragedy is what it is.
I am
but
never going to be that.
no, and which is ironic. I come from, thank God I live in this age where I don't have to deal with, and then here's women who put themselves
there on purpose.
But the thing with this is it's giving, I said, the underbelly. So like when you find out, like in the first 20 pages, it's all fake. Like she has a whole team putting together things for her, and she's just filming it for likes and monetization.
Oh, this is completely in the modern.
Yeah, it's right
time.
now. Yeah, it's told from multiple women's points of view. It's told from the main trad wife, Madison, and then the tutor, Callie, that she hires, then Lori, the housekeeper, and then there's another character, I forget the name, with Jenny in Wyoming.
So, folks, let's just be clear. Even though this is a real life movement, this is fictional. So that way people who are listening are not going to get confused.
No, this is...
But it's just set in something current pop culture, which I'm only now getting awareness to. And now we're shrouded in all of this other... I'm going to say conspiracy because that's how I feel, but it is conspiracy. We still gave it 4 stars. So obviously you really did enjoy it. Did it hook you right away?
It did. It did. I listened to it every chance I got.
And the writing style?
Mm-hmm. Super easy flow. I liked the multiple points of view. It was good.
Narrator, male or female?
Female.
Okay. Accent, no accent?
No accent.
Okay. Like I always...
Well, it takes place in Montana.
Oh boy, I could have an accent, but I guess, a different kind. Did you have a favorite character in this one?
Lori, the housekeeper.
Why? Great. You guys got to listen to it to know why. I can't say anything because you should have seen her face right there. Least favorite character?
Michael, her husband.
You never liked the husbands.
Well, I really didn't like this one.
Okay.
I mean, he was exceptionally unlikable.
I'm going to go back and I'm going to record a montage of every time I asked you who you didn't like in these thrillers. Is the husband, and exactly why, and the husband, and exactly why. And every time you say it is different. And this time it's, I really didn't like this one. Why don't you like these husbands?
And this husband, this husband I don't like because he's a pig.
Got it.
And he's stupid. And he doesn't give his wife credit for what she's created. And he pushes every part. Oh, got it. Have a really small penis.
Oh boy, we went there.
I really, really don't like this one.
What did you find memorable about this, or a powerful moment? Favorite chapter?
I think when Lori takes her power back.
Which I know you like that. Like you like to have a good female to be strong and then get it together, girl, and then moves forward, unlike whatever was happening in the Last Bookstore on Earth.
Yeah.
Those two should become friends because obviously Lori would be a good support for that girl. I don't even know her name. That girl. That's what we said with this. What's the main idea? Because this is more than just a thriller, apparently.
Everything is not as it seems.
Oh, I like that.
So just because, like, don't give it all over. Like, recognize that what someone puts out there is not always the truth and is somehow always sugar-coated. No one's giving you, especially online, their real. I don't care what they say. They're not giving you their real. And as a woman, stand up for yourself.
Rachel says if you don't stand up for yourself, she's going to give you a pep talk and a kick in the ass.
Like, stand up for yourself. You have a voice, use it.
I'm shaking my head yes, because I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And you know what? When you're using your voice, not everybody's going to like what they hear, but that's not your concern.
That's okay.
Right. Sometimes, your truth is hard for people to hear. That's on them. But at least you speak your mind. I agree with you. Anything you wish was done differently?
The reason why it was only 4 stars. Callie, the tutor, her backstory. I had issues with her backstory.
That goes with plot holes that were problematic.
We were told the backstory. I just found it not probable. Like it's like that doesn't really happen. Like there had to be a reason to keep her there, for Callie to stay in this situation. And the reason they give, it was like, that's a dumb reason.
So have you read from this author before?
No. Mm-mm.
Would you read again?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Would you recommend this book?
Yeah.
To who?
To anyone who is really interested kind of about the trad wife culture.
Yeah, I'm
but
curious.
Is not into the trad wife culture.
I'm trad curious.
Yeah, there you go. But like you would never actually like fall into that role. And anyone who likes a good thriller is what I would say.
So twists and turns.
Mm-hmm.
You can't even tell us who dies. Is there multiple deaths?
There's multiple deaths.
Okay.
I can't reveal that. I did guess the main twist probably about 60% of the way through. I figured it out.
So if you like detective work, this could be good for people who are medium detectives.
Yes, and I'm a poor to medium detective.
I disagree. I think you're medium to slightly advanced.
But I did not see the end coming, which was cool.
Now that I'm trad curious and all, let's quick fire chaos this one. If this book had a smell, what would it be?
Cherry pie.
And it has nothing to do with the cover. It has
No,
to do with trad.
There's a cherry pie moment.
Cherry
pie.
Who in this book is definitely 2 raccoons in a trench coat?
One of the kids.
She has children?
At the end of the book, there's 5 kids.
She has 5 children, or there just is 5 children?
I'm not answering that question.
The quick fire stopped because now
I'm not answering that question.
Awesome. All right. This would definitely make an amazing, in my opinion, without even going and finishing, like a movie.
This is like a lifetime. This is a total lifetime movie book, 100%.
Who is the villain? Is it the husband?
I'm going to say it's the husband and the wife together.
Wow.
Is what I'm going to say.
All right. Which character would get scammed from a prince in Nigeria?
Callie, the tutor.
This poor girl. If you had to fist fight one of these characters in a Walmart.
Michael.
Is that the husband?
Husband.
Guys, she says that every time about this question also.
Taking him down.
I feel like this already ended in chaos, but what's the most chaotic way this could have ended? We haven't been able to reveal a lot about the book, so I'm hoping through these quick fire questions that are going slowly that maybe we can get a little bit more about
that this turns into a full-fledged cult, and it's not just Madison and Michael on the homestead, but like they bring in all the surrounding trad wife families, and it turns into a giant cult in Montana. On a ranch.
Wow. You took it someplace totally. We're great. If aliens found this book as their only record of humanity, what would they assume about us?
That we mistreat our women, and the expectations that we put on women as wives and mothers is why men will die first.
Rachel's very deep right now, friends. Mine would have just kind of been like, oh, look, humans don't know how to spell full words anymore. What is up with that?
Hashtag trad wives ruin lives.
All around. Oh my gosh. Now rename the book.
Oh crap.
5 words or less, playing drunken Mad Libs.
Don't go in the bunker.
Don't go in the bunker. What's going on with the bunker? Guys, now there's a bunker.
There's a bunker.
She never gives us anything we really need about these thrillers, making you have to go listen to them. But it's a 4-star. Do you know when this one comes out?
It is released on May 27th, so like in a week.
There you go, guys. In 1 week, which you're going to get this like a month later, which is fine because now we all know the bunker. It better not be like Lost Season 3 when we're not sure what's going on.
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
it actually has an ending. So our TBRs, once again,
both books I'm currently reading are not on my TBR.
great, guys. So what we have to look forward to is Famous Last Words, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, and Wendy's Ever After.
Yep.
For me, As Good as Dead from the Good Girl's Guide to Murder. That's all the spilled ink today, Rachel.
I've spilled a lot of ink.
You
and
spilled
coffee,
tons.
and I need to just go ahead and throw it in there. I do really enjoy my husband. He's a lovely human. I would never want to fist fight him in a Walmart parking lot. He would never cause me to want to fist fight him in a Walmart parking lot. It's just these husbands in these books that I want to throw punch. But I do enjoy men, so I need to put that out there. I'm not a man hater.
And with that, we're going to say, have a great day. Thanks for listening.
Bye. That's a wrap. Time to close the book on today's episode. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Casey. If you had fun, hit the like, follow, and subscribe. Make sure you click on the bell icon.
You can also email us at spilledinkinkcoffeeshow@gmail.com. Send us your questions, tell us what you're reading, or share what we should dive into.
Until next time, keep your coffee hot
And your pages turning.
Bye, guys.